Today on Studio One, a good meal and a nice warm bed to sleep in can make an overnight stay one to remember. We'll spend a day in the life of a bed and breakfast owner. Also, tradition is often carried through generations with song and dance. We'll visit with a dance troupe with a message. And the military has scheduled another round of base closings in 2 years. We'll look at the impact this could have on a community.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hello everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Jill Gustafson. Well, later on the show, I will actually be interviewing the director of Gambler's Choice Program. And the Federal Trade Commission did some regional surveys and says that they suggest that over 30% of high schoolers gamble periodically.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these are like the teenage...
Right, teenage ages.
Wow.
And actually it's not a big shocker because there's so many things they can gamble with, such as lottery tickets, card games, dice games. You can bet on sports, just like adults do. And then also, if you have a credit card, gambling websites, because they can't really tell how old you are.
And teenagers know the internet inside and out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to that interview. Also coming up on Studio One, a military base can become a major asset to a community. We'll look ahead to 2005 when many bases across the U.S. could be closed for good.
Also, prostate cancer is a common form of cancer among men. We'll talk with the urologist to learn more about this deadly disease.
Before we get to all that, here's today's news with Sarah Spencer.
Thanks, Monty and Jill. President Bush has signed a funding package that will provide billions of dollars for Iraq and Afghanistan. The Emergency Supplemental Appropriations Act gives the two countries $87.5 billion. The money will be used for the defense and reconstruction of the countries. At the signing ceremony, Bush told members of the National Endowment for Democracy that the region is at a turning point and the money needs to be spent.
Our investment in the future of Afghanistan and Iraq is the greatest commitment of its kind since the Marshall Plan.
A woman survived a plunge into the icy waters off the Massachusetts coast Thursday. The accident happened in an area known as Manchester by the Sea. The unidentified woman was thrown from her car when the vehicle flew off a rocky ledge into the ocean below. She was rescued and rushed to a nearby hospital where she's being treated for hypothermia. A new study shows many young children are developing their parents' bad eating habits. A study being published in the American Dietetic Association Journal found that toddlers are not getting enough fruits and vegetables and eating too much junk food. The study also says toddlers are eating 30% more calories than are recommended for their age group. Children ages 1-2 years require around 950 calories per day. Nutritionists say children are watching parents' eating routines and developing their own unhealthy habits.
With children, it's very important with parents, if you want to instill good values, to instill them early. So they have to model those behaviors themselves.
E-Congress says parents should try to help their children by providing healthy food and eating it with them. They should also keep a close eye on their children's daily sugar and salt consumption. Doctors say children should be eating at least 2 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. Norway will become the first country in the world to ban smoking in all its restaurants, bars, and cafes. The government decided to go smoke-free to protect staff in public working environments. Nearly 30% of the adult population in Norway smokes. A spokesperson from Norway's health department is confident that in a few years, most countries will have similar regulations. The Netherlands and Ireland are looking to follow Norway's lead, but not everyone is happy about the new law. Several bar owners have vowed to risk heavy fines by not complying with the new regulations. The law will take effect in the summer of 2004. Since 1988, about 400 military bases have been closed or restructured to help the military cut costs. A new round of base closings is just 2 years away, and the government is expected to shut down about 100 more bases nationwide. This has communities that have military bases concerned, and residents in those cities wonder whether their base may be the next to be closed.
Those who live in a community with a military base know how much it means to the surrounding area and how devastating it would be to lose it in the next round of closings. The Grand Forks Air Force Base in North Dakota has been here for nearly 50 years. Over time, it's become a major part of this community and has made a huge impact on those who live here. In 2002 alone, the Air Force Base brought in about $300 million to the Grand Forks area.
All the new businesses across the whole state of North Dakota will not bring in what this base does in 1 year. So the economic effect, when you figure the domino effect of that, will be absolutely devastating. I mean, there is no other way to put it.
Not only does the Air Force Base support the Grand Forks community financially, but it brings a unique diversity that many areas don't have.
If you go beyond that and add the social and cultural aspects and the benefits that the base brings to our community, the diversity, the culture, the multinational aspects that our Air Force Base brings to our community, it truly adds to who we are here in Grand Forks, and it's an asset that we all enjoy.
In addition, this base has been there in times of disaster. Back in 1997, 60,000 Grand Forks residents were evacuated when the Red River flooded most of the city. But the base opened their doors and housed over 3,000 people until the water receded.
We would not have made it, and you don't put a dollar value on friendship. They saved us. They saved this community.
Currently, Marshall is working closely with the state's congressional delegation and city leaders to try and make sure Grand Forks doesn't lose a major part of their community. The Grand Forks Air Force Base has survived the previous rounds of base closings, but with the next round being the largest yet, some fear the community could have to face the challenge of adapting to life without the base. Reporting for Studio One News, I'm Kristen Gillick.
Coming up later, we'll take a look at the relationship between Grand Forks and the base from the airman's perspective. We'll also see the improvements that are being made at the base before the next round of closings. And that's news for now. Monty and Jill?
Thanks, Sarah. Well, if people around this area were planning on getting one last grass mowing in, they're out of luck. It's
been terribly cold around here lately.
Snow. We've got snow.
Tons of snow, actually. And it's been quite cold around the rest of the country, too. So let's go to BJ Eisen at the Regional Weather Information Center, and he can tell us all about those national temperatures.
Well, hi, Monty and Jill. You're exactly right. Here in Grand Forks, we saw almost a little bit above 7 inches of snow already just for the month of November. So we'll take a look at who else has some snow coming up in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at those average conditions for our viewing areas. The state of North Dakota is seeing temperatures, mainly these numbers are from Grand Forks, seeing temperatures right around 39 for the average high, 20 for the overnight lows. They aren't getting those temperatures at all. High temperatures are struggling to reach the 20-degree mark, with overnight low temperatures just in the single digits and dropping below average as well. Minneapolis 43 and 27, Portland 53 and 43. As we take a look at what's causing this, though, we have been seeing the jet stream dipping extremely far south, allowing very cold Canadian air to filter in, bringing much below average temperatures. Otherwise, down to the south and east, though, they're seeing almost a second wind of summer for this time of year. Like I said, down there, they've been seeing temperatures anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees above average, so very nice conditions. I wish I was there, but I'm not. And actually, we're up here in this very cold air where we've been seeing temperatures anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees below average. And that actually goes for overnight lows as well. Very chilly conditions, but very warm down to the south and east. Now, hopefully we're going to change that up just a bit when the jet stream begins to meander a little bit further north off to the eastern section of the U.S., where they will be seeing closer to average temperatures for the upcoming week, but still very chilly off in the mid sections of the United States. Now, that snow cover we were talking about, here in North Dakota, most of the state seeing anywhere from about 3 to 7 inches or more of snow, but snow ranging from the upper peninsula of Michigan to Wisconsin, northern Minnesota, and stretching further west than that. So it looks like winter is definitely on its way. Here's what's happening with national weather, though. Big rain system moving off the eastern coast with a lot of rain showers. High pressure system dominating much of the central sections of the U.S., where they will be seeing nice sunny conditions and partly cloudy conditions. High pressure will just continue to dominate throughout the next week, but it looks like another low pressure system will be moving in with some more rain and snow showers as well. Here's your Studio One Weather IQ question. What type of clouds are commonly seen underneath weakening thunderstorms? And you have a few choices there: mammatus, cumulus, stratus, or is it cirrus? Monty and Jill will have the answer to that question, your national forecast, all coming up in the second half of the show.
Thanks, BJ. You have any clue?
I have no idea. There are a few clouds there that I hadn't even heard of before.
I have no idea even the difference between them. So
I'll have to wait for that answer.
I guess so.
Let's go now to sports with Greg Ankers.
Thanks, Monty and Jill. First, there was Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Then there was Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Now it's LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony. The Generation Next superstars are off to soaring starts in their NBA careers. With their first matchup taking place in Cleveland, all eyes of the NBA world were watching. LeBron James entering the arena, all love between him and Carmelo Anthony before the game, but then it was go time. In the second quarter, Denver sharing the ball as they find Carmelo Anthony on the wing for 3. That would put Denver up by 10. Later in the second, LeBron says, "Nuh-uh, not in my house," as he takes a steal all the way for the foul and the dunk. His free throw would tie the game at 36. In the second half, 5'5" Nuggets guard Earl Boykins would take the game over as he sinks the 3 from John Barry. Denver back up by 7. Then in the fourth, too much of Boykins. With the shot clock winding down, he sinks the shot over LeBron James. The Nuggets would go on to win 93-89. Make the segue to college football now. Number 12 TCU and number 25 Louisville. TCU up 10 in the fourth, but Stephon LaForce has something to say about that as he scores on the fake field goal, pulling the Cardinals within 3. Last chance for Louisville with a 44-yard field goal attempt by Nate Smith, and it is off the crossbar as TCU would hold on for the 31-28 win, keeping their season perfect thus far. For over 4 years, the PGA has been dominated by Tiger Woods. This year, Woods finally has a competitor that brings the PGA title challenge to the last tournament of the season. Woods will play Vijay Singh at the final tournament in Texas, not only for the title of who's won the most money in 2003, but also for bragging rights. If either player wins the tournament, they could be the favorite to be voted as PGA Tour Player of the Year. Tiger Woods has been so dominant the last 4 years that the season champion has been decided as early as August. But this time, it's come down to the last tournament.
A lot of different things are up for grabs, and it makes for a nice, challenging week. You know, we all have our own goals, and all you can do is control your own destiny. Just go out there and play, and let's see what happens.
Woods has been voted as the PGA Tour Player of the Year for the last 4 years. This year, Woods failed to win a major for the first time since 1998. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. What college has the most players in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? There's a lengthy list of powerhouses in college football ranging from USC to Florida State. We'll have that answer and more sports a little later on. Monty and Jill?
Thanks, Greg. Well, love on the big screen can be captivating, especially when 10 stories are rolled into one. We'll take a look at a new film starring a blockbuster cast.
And the American Cancer Society says almost 250,000 men in the U.S. will be diagnosed with prostate cancer this year. Next, we'll talk with a urologist about treatment options for this disease.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The School of Engineering and Mines at UND has a long history of preparing students for successful careers. Through small classes and faculty involvement, students have unique opportunities to gain hands-on experience. Here, students launch a weather balloon to test a remote imaging device destined for Earth orbit. Students can also become involved in wind energy and fuel cell projects, design, build, and race a Formula One car, or even develop a camera that will generate agricultural images from the International Space Station. Find out for yourself how you can get involved at UND School of Engineering and Mines.
The University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration offers real degrees for real people. Our nationally recognized faculty can help you earn a master's degree in business through evening classes.
Taking these evening classes were very convenient for me, and that's how I was able to complete the program.
We offer degrees for people who work, raise families, and lead busy lives. The UND College of Business and Public Administration, real degrees for real people.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
The American Cancer Society says 1 out of 6 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime. It is the second leading cause of cancer death among males in the United States. Urologist Parker Eberwein is here to tell us more about this disease. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it is common among men to have this type of cancer. Who is most at risk?
In North America, it's the African Americans, the Hispanics, and those individuals who have first-degree relatives, brothers, fathers, with prostate cancer. There also appears to be an increased incidence in men whose mothers or sisters have breast cancer.
Okay, so it's obviously genetic as well then.
There's a familial component to it.
What are some of the warning signs?
Unfortunately, there are no specific symptoms for prostate cancer. As men get older, we often have more difficulty passing our water and urinating. And those are symptoms of an enlarged prostate with slowing of the stream, sometimes more frequent voiding. But they're not specific for prostate cancer. Any sort of prostate disease or problems can cause those sorts of symptoms.
Okay, what sort of tests can you run then to find out if you do have prostate cancer?
The most important thing with detecting prostate cancer is to be screened annually with both a digital rectal examination, which is a way we can feel and palpate the prostate, as well as a blood test called PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen.
And how reliable are the tests?
Well, digital rectal examination will detect any hard lumps or bumps, and alone can detect 55, maybe 60% of prostate cancers. With the PSA blood test, that increases the detection rate to well over 75%.
Okay. How important is it to detect this type of cancer early? I mean, with many cancers, it's great to get it early, but what about this type?
That holds true for prostate cancer too. Certainly the earlier you detect it, as long as the prostate cancer is still confined to the prostate gland, the more likely it can be cured. So early detection is important.
Okay. Does this cancer progress quickly? Is it something that spreads across the body very quickly?
No. Prostate cancer, for the most part, is quite a slow-growing cancer. And it's estimated that by the time it's detectable, it's probably been around for many years in a very small form. If, on average, patients who are detected with prostate cancer were left untreated, their life expectancy would still be many, many years.
Okay, so it's a slower form. Now, once somebody does take a test, they get diagnosed, what are their options then?
They have a lot of options, which is fortunate and unfortunate, because sometimes it's hard to make a decision. But prostate cancer can be cured, and there are 3 or 4 main treatments that we look at to try and cure prostate cancer. In North America, the most common treatment to cure prostate cancer is surgery to remove the prostate gland. Alternatives include forms of radiation, either external beam radiation, where X-ray beams are fired through the body at the prostate, brachytherapy or radiation seed implants, where we implant little radiation seeds in the prostate to kill the prostate cancer, or cryotherapy, which involves freezing the prostate gland.
Is there any one process that is more successful than others?
Well, it appears that the highest success rate or cure rate is probably with surgery and cryotherapy. But radiation is very, very close to that, and probably not statistically significant difference in life expectancy in older individuals.
Now, you mentioned, you actually said it could be cured, so you can become cancer-free if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. How does a patient decide which treatment to use? You said it can be a mixed blessing in having these options.
That's true. It's going to depend on a lot of things. The information they hear from their physician, what they read in the literature either provided by their physician or in the lay press or on the internet, and then their personal experience. And we all know people who've been treated for cancer and have had good outcomes and bad outcomes. And that weighs into the treatment decision. It's nice that the cure rates and the efficacy with these treatments is all about the same. Side effects are fairly similar to some, but may differ a little bit.
Okay. Now, you deal with a lot of these patients. What's the best way for them to find a good doctor when they find this?
Well, most screening is done by primary care physicians, family physicians, and internists. And when there's a concern, they'll usually be referred to a urologist. Some patients will choose to seek out a urologist to have their prostate checked on their own, which is fine. It's important that it depends on the rapport a patient has with their physician. If they appreciate what he's telling them and get along with him and understand what he's saying, then that's probably all they need to do. But they can certainly seek a second opinion if that's what they wish.
Okay. What would you recommend for people to reduce this risk of prostate cancer?
In North America, we seem to know that prostate cancer is associated with a high-fat diet. So a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle are important to minimize the risk of developing prostate cancer. Then if you're in that group that's at higher risk, you're Hispanic, African American, or you have a relative with prostate cancer, you need to be screened, and probably screened earlier than the general population.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today, Dr.
My
Eberwein.
pleasure.
A lot of great information.
Thank you.
Coming up, for many football fans, what takes place on the field is just a small part of the game day experience. We'll take you outside the stadium and to get an inside look at tailgating. Also, travel is a common activity for many. Some stay in hotels while others choose a different alternative. Later, we'll meet the owner of a bed and breakfast.
University of North Dakota. Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
Many people enjoy a good love story. In theory, 10 love stories would be 9 times better. This is the strategy of the new romantic comedy, Love Actually. This is a new film that portrays the lives of a wide selection of people in relationships. The movie follows 9 different love stories, all rolled into one. Some are successful and some are not. The storyline follows everyone from a politician and his secretary to a stepdad and his 11-year-old stepson. Most of the filming took place in the United Kingdom and France, but the opening scene of the film was filmed in Kenya. Love Actually has a blockbuster cast starring Liam Neeson, Hugh Grant, and Billy Bob Thornton. The film will be in theaters everywhere Friday, November 14th. Now it's time to look at the events happening in your area. People travel from their homes all the time. Staying in hotels can feel like the only option, but there is an alternative. Today, we spend a day in the life of a bed and breakfast owner.
511 Reeves Drive has been home sweet home for Bill and Wanda Gravlin for almost 30 years. They not only live there, but their house has become a business.
We decided after our kids had been gone for quite some time, and we decided maybe we should just open up the rooms and see what happens.
Wanda has been the owner of this Grand Forks, North Dakota bed and breakfast since 1991, but the history of the home dates back a century.
It was built by a fellow by the name of William Pringle, And he happened to be married to Lulu Griggs, or Lois Griggs. She's the daughter of Alexander Griggs, who was the father of Grand Forks. So that's why this house has a little bit of famous history.
Wanda says she loves her daily tasks. Her main duties include cleaning 3 guest bedrooms and making homemade breakfasts. Guests look forward to her hospitality with each visit.
I mean, it's like you feel like you've just gone to heaven.
Do you want coffee, Joan? Tea. Okay, I'll get you some water.
A nice warm feeling here. She makes wonderful breakfasts, and you feel like you've, in a way, come home to a family.
Husband Bill doesn't cook, but he does help with Wanda's dirty work.
My husband does help. He actually is the person that helps clear off the table and puts the dishes in the dishwasher.
Wanda says it's sometimes difficult to live in the same place as she works, but it is rewarding. And as the guests come and go, Wanda is able to share a bit of her home sweet home with every visit. With photographer Frode Tilden, I'm Adra Ensrud reporting for Studio One.
The bed and breakfast concept has existed in one form or another for centuries. In fact, monasteries were the first to set up rooms for travelers to stay in. Online gambling can be addictive. People can gamble uninterrupted and undetected for hours at a time. We'll meet a woman who can help detect this serious problem. Also, dancing can be an enjoyable activity. For one unique team, it helps showcase their culture. Coming up, we'll see an African-rooted dance performance. That story plus news, sports, and weather in the next half hour of Studio One.
North Dakota has been home to many successful entrepreneurs. George Bull and his partners found value in farina, the whitest part of wheat, and created cream of wheat. Patrick Haggerty is the founder of one of the nation's high-tech giants, Texas Instruments. And Raymond Rood's product has been used in every Olympic competition since 1960. He is responsible for the modern diving board. Ryan Foltz is the first graduate of the UND Entrepreneurship Program. Are you next?
The University of North Dakota Alumni Association and Foundation, together with thousands of alumni and friends, are making a difference at UND. Thanks to generous private support, many students have experienced the rich history, tradition, and spirit of the University of North Dakota. UND alumni and friends understand the importance of education and are proud to be part of UND's growth and success. Learn how your gift to the UND Foundation can benefit you and your university. You can make a difference.
Earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering degree program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through online lectures and condensed on-campus laboratories.
It's convenient, it's flexible, and it's a quality education.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Tradition runs deep among American Indian people. One of those traditions is helping others. At the University of North Dakota, American Indian Student Services is dedicated to helping students succeed. Our support services include tutoring and financial aid assistance. We have more American Indian programs than any other university in the U.S., making UND a leader in Indian education. Be a part of our tradition. Call 1-800-CALL-UND.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One.
Thanks for joining us today. Well, I have in my hand, right here,
all right,
the 50 top honeymoon vacation spots worldwide.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is according to Modern Bride's travel agent poll. They polled different travel agents across the country, and they came up with a list of the top 50. And I was pretty surprised by it. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1.
Okay.
We've got Italy, number 5,
Ooh.
Hawaii, Florida, Bermuda, and number 1, Aruba.
Aruba?
Yeah, had no idea.
Well, I'd want to go to Aruba,
Well,
but
it'd be nice and warm.
still.
We actually have a segment coming up in the show where we're going to talk to people about their favorite vacation getaway. If they could get away right now, where would they like to go? Not necessarily linked to honeymoon, but just
to go and have a vacation.
Gotcha.
So I'll be looking forward to that.
Should be pretty interesting.
Also coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, the military will soon consider whether to restructure or close bases across the U.S. In part 2 of our series in the Grand Forks Air Force Base, we'll take a look at what community support means to those who live and work there.
Also, dance can be a form of expression for people. We'll see how one dance troupe's expression has been around for centuries.
And in 1997, Harvard conducted the first comprehensive analysis of gambling addiction in the U.S. and Canada. They found that more adolescents have a gambling problem than adults. Later, we'll meet the director of a Gambler's Choice program. Before we get to all of that, here's today's news with Sarah Spencer.
Thanks, Monty and Jill. Authorities have arrested a man suspected of killing 2 people at an Ohio trucking company Thursday morning. Tom West, a former employee of the company, allegedly entered the factory at 9 a.m. with 2 handguns and opened fire. One of the victims died at the scene and the other died of gunshot wounds later at the hospital. 3 others were wounded. West apparently fled the scene in a white van and drove 50 miles west to Indiana. Police received a call about a man at a truck stop acting suspiciously and picked West up Thursday afternoon. The trucking company is located about 20 miles from Cincinnati. New currency will be circulating in the fall of 2004. An updated nickel will still feature Thomas Jefferson on the front of the coin, but the tail side now depicts scenes from Lewis and Clark's journey through the Louisiana Purchase. The new 5-cent piece commemorates the bicentennial of Jefferson's purchase of Louisiana Territory. This is the first update to the nickel in 65 years. Ordering prescription drugs from internet pharmacies is becoming increasingly popular in the U.S., but the Food and Drug Administration says consumers should be wary of ordering online. Although internet pharmacies offer convenience and cheaper prices, the FDA says patients may not receive the same quality medications as they would at a local store. Customers are often sent outdated, unapproved, and sometimes even the wrong medications. U.S. Customs agents are also discovering that online prescriptions have become a source of illegal drug trafficking. Legitimate sources for online drugs do exist, but pharmacies say that a personal visit to your local drugstore can help prevent mistakes.
We're kind of the last line of defense, and I think you take that away when you order drugs online. However, if they call the pharmacist before they get the medication online and talk to a pharmacist, then it's probably okay because at least they're getting a phone consultation.
Some online drug stores have been certified by the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy. The 13 sites involved in the program have state licenses and their storage facilities are inspected. The FDA has recently approved a laser that may literally zap the zits off a person's face. The laser was already being used by dermatologists to treat wrinkles and scars. Now new research indicates the laser may be effective in treating America's most common skin problem, acne. 85% of Americans have acne at some point in their lives. One 15-minute laser treatment could reduce pimples and remove any scarring. The procedure is relatively painless and far more effective than prescribed antibiotics. The laser heats small blood vessels in the face, destroying bacteria that causes the pimples. The Bush administration has estimated that the Pentagon could save billions of dollars every year by closing military bases around the country. With the next round of military base closings only 2 years away, communities are pushing for improvements and upgrades in hopes of saving their bases. North Dakota's Grand Forks Air Force Base has gone through many changes over the years. In 1995, its missile wing was deactivated and it became a single mission base. Its main purpose now is to support the 319th Air Refueling Wing, which uses dozens of tanker planes to supply fuel for aircraft around the globe. But the upcoming round of base closings could mean even more changes for the Air Force Base. In the meantime, the base is making some changes on its own. Construction crews have been working year-round to make improvements. Recent additions include a new $10 million parking area for the planes, as well as upgrades in housing and infrastructure.
Well, of course, our number one focus is to support our mission because that's why we exist here. And then secondly, you see a lot of investment in projects that support the quality of life because the people are what make the mission happen. And so we want to provide facilities for their recreation and for their places to live to be top quality.
But these improvements will not guarantee that the base will be spared in 2005. The Bush administration is looking to appoint a 9-member base closing commission in March of that year, when a list of potential facilities to be closed would be submitted. Until then, Air Force personnel focus on their mission with the support of the community.
And that really helps us here on the base to
to complete our mission, both here and overseas, knowing that we have that support here, watching after our friends and family while we do our part to protect and defend the nation.
Those involved in trying to save the base say they know the airmen value the community as much as the people of Grand Forks value the base.
You hear an awfully lot of good things from people at the base about Grand Forks and the way we treat people and the way we treat the military.
Even though the future of the base remains uncertain, Air Force personnel say they are committed to carrying on their mission. The Grand Forks Air Force Base is hoping to receive new aircraft to replace some of its aging tanker fleet. Lawmakers are trying to work out a deal that would lease some of the planes so they could be in the air sooner. However, the tankers would still arrive well after the next round of base closings. And that's news for now. Monty and Jill?
Thanks, Sarah. Well, it has been getting colder around this area, and you can tell because all of the rivers are starting to slowly creep in from the edge. Ice is starting to form.
Yeah, I gotta go ice skating.
Yeah, not
I don't know
yet.
if it's, yeah, well, I'm overzealous, but oh well. Yeah, you can't do much. And this morning I had to go out in my big winter jacket and scrape the ice off my windshield.
Yeah. It's that time of year.
Yeah, don't really like that.
Get
Don't
out the
miss that.
mittens.
I love winter, just don't like that part. Anyways, let's go check in with BJ Eisen at the Regional Weather Information Center, and he can tell us all about the national forecast.
Well, Monty and Jill, yeah, a lot of snow around the upper central sections of the U.S. for this time of year. Let's take a look at that national forecast and see who could be getting some more snow flurries or some rain showers throughout this next week. As you can see, some rain showers will be persisting throughout the south and east. Those will be moving off the eastern shores, but we do see windy conditions coming in throughout the midsections of the U.S. Along with that, we should see a few more rain systems. Warming temperatures, though, will allow some of that to be mostly rain showers, but we still will be seeing those snow showers up to the north. And those will continue to scatter themselves throughout the eastern coast, more moving in from the west. That will be affecting the midsections of the U.S. But overall, it looks like we should see a warm-up in our future. The sky is often scattered with pictures created by our own images. Although every cloud is unique, each one is born the same way.
They provide us with a warm blanket in the winter and a break from the hot sun during the summer. Whether the temperatures are warm or cold, clouds can usually be seen lingering in the sky.
Clouds form by rising air. As air rises, it cools, and it cools to the temperature of the dew point. All air has a certain amount of moisture. The more moisture, the higher the dew point. And when it cools, it eventually reaches the dew point, and dew point causes, cooling causes condensation. And the condensation forms little water droplets in the atmosphere that we call a cloud.
When air comes in contact with a warm part of the Earth's surface, it tends to rise. When it gets high enough, it will cool and water will condense to form a cloud. The dust particles in the atmosphere act as Velcro for water droplets to cling to. When a cloud becomes too dense and can't hold any more moisture, the droplets fall as rain or snow. Though every type of cloud forms at different levels of the atmosphere, each one begins its life cycle the same way. Reporting for Studio One, I'm Virginia Sticka.
High-level clouds that we call cirrus clouds often indicate that a warm front is approaching. And as clouds lower in the atmosphere, the chance for rain or snow increases. Here's a recap of your Studio One Weather IQ question. What type of clouds are commonly seen underneath weakening thunderstorms? And the answer is A, momentous clouds. Monty and Jill, it looks like we will be seeing a warm-up in our near future, but we'll still have to deal with some snow flurries as well.
Okay. BJ, how would I recognize these types of clouds? Could I spot them in the sky? What do they look like?
Oh yeah, definitely. You could definitely tell what they look like because they look like pouches hanging down from the sky, and actually they're very ominous looking, but they usually form after the strongest part of the thunderstorm has already moved through.
Okay, thank you very much, BJ.
Momentous clouds.
Momentous.
And now we know. Have you ever seen a momentous cloud before?
If I did, I wouldn't say, ooh, that's momentous.
Right, but now you can because
now
we know.
I can.
Great. BJ has all this information all the time.
He's the man.
Let's go now to sports news with Greg Ankers.
Thanks, Monty and Jill. Most football fans enjoy seeing a game live, and for many, getting there 15 minutes before game time is just fine. But another group of fans arrives hours before kickoff to get the full game experience. It's 9:30 a.m., 19 degrees and breezy. While many people are soaking up a chance to sleep in on a Saturday, these people are here to experience something a little different. It is, after all, game day in Grand Forks, North Dakota, where the tradition and the art of tailgating runs deep. Even chilly days like this one can't keep college football fans away from the parking lot hours before game time.
It's a tailgating day. It's your football game, and the weather can't stop you. You got to be hardy.
Staying warm can sometimes be a challenging thing. Not everyone has a rig to shelter themselves from the wind, so it's important to keep warm any way you can.
A lot of fires going behind us. Everybody's trying to keep warm. Food's delicious. Companionship, friendship. Your friends are here and we're having a good time.
The tailgating experience also brings people together. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're here, you'll be treated right. For some, they come with everything, even the kitchen sink. For others, a simpler setup works out just fine.
Mostly we've got grills and camp stoves and all kinds of food.
Some elaborate rigs come complete with anything a tailgater could ask for, but with so much equipment, power can sometimes be an issue.
Well, you know, we had a couple of batteries with an inverter, and we had a cappuccino machine hooked up to it, and it just wasn't quite enough power to run the cappuccino machine. So today we have a generator. Works out better.
While many may believe this tradition is a bit crazy, the folks here remember what it's all about and why they're here.
This is North Dakota. This is part of our heritage, and this is the way we are.
Many of the tailgaters arrived at about 8 a.m. on game day, more than 5 hours before opening kickoff. Now the answer to this week's Studio One Sports Trivia question: what college has the most players in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And the answer is B, Notre Dame with 10. USC is a close second with 9. That's the sports. Monty and Jill?
Thank you, Greg. Winter has arrived in many areas, and some are already thinking about warmer destinations. Later we'll see where some people's dream vacation spots are.
And stomping, clapping, and moving are all activities seen in one unique dance. Coming up, we'll see a cultural dance troupe perform.
The A. Kirk Lanterman Investment Center at the University of North Dakota brings Wall Street to the prairie. This state-of-the-art facility in the College of Business and Public Administration provides hands-on experience in the world of modern finance. Students learn how financial markets react with lightning quickness to world events. They use cutting-edge technology and real-time data from more than 200 financial markets around the world. The Lanterman Investment Center provides the tools to make a career out of an education.
There are many things to be found at the University of North Dakota School of Law. You will find a place with small class settings, an affordable place that offers student interaction with both the state and federal court systems. You will find a school that has averaged over 90% placement for its graduates the past 5 years. But most importantly, you will find the skills and experience you'll need throughout your legal career. Find your future at the University of North Dakota School of Law.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
You're watching Studio One, honored by the Northwest Broadcast News Association for excellence in cable television.
The chilly winter season is upon us, and many people are thinking of warmer destinations for holiday traveling. A variety of people have different ideas of that dream vacation. We wanted to know your thoughts on the perfect getaway.
Well, I think it would be really fun to go to Germany to go Christmas shopping in the next week.
Anywhere that's warm and you can lie on the beach and go swimming and just have a good time.
It would be a week-long romantic trip to Paris.
Total hunting package in Alaska.
I think it's just a country that's got to be seen. I think once a guy was there, you want to go back.
Venice, Italy, because I want to float around in one of those little boats.
My husband's dream vacation would be probably somewhere out in the open at a really just secluded area where you could fish and four-wheel and just enjoy nature.
That's about it.
Anywhere but North Dakota in the winter.
Instruments come in all shapes and sizes. There's one group of dancers that use their bodies as instruments and perform to the sounds created.
A person's culture usually plays an important role in their life. This group is touring the U.S., combining culture with entertainment. They say it is a rewarding combination.
It's way worth it, and you know, when you come across audiences all over the place and meet people and see how kind people are, it's more than worth it.
Step Africa was created to show the art of stepping. Stepping is a form of dance created in the U.S. during the 1980s. It was created in sororities and fraternities and traces back to traditional African dances. Not only does the group perform, they educate the public about the dance and its roots.
The company was founded to promote this dance form as an American tradition, like ballet and tap.
Every step has a different meaning and hasn't always been done in public.
For that, stepping was closed, done in circles, similar to how you might see Native American dance.
Stepping varies from person to person, and different things can affect each performance.
There's a lot of feeling going on the stage, and having gotten sick, my groove was off. So I couldn't feel what I was used to feeling.
Sharing their culture is only one of their goals.
I think Step Africa's mission is has many missions. One is the promotion of education. We do a lot of work in the public school system.
While clapping, stomping, and yelling may seem like noise to some, it is Step Africa's way of communicating with their past. With photographer Jessica Denny, I'm Carrie Versdahl reporting for Studio One.
In December, the group is heading to Johannesburg, South Africa for an international cultural festival. The Federal Trade Commission says kids can easily access online gambling sites. This is especially true if they have access to credit or debit cards. Coming up, we'll meet a woman who helps teens with gambling problems.
University of North Dakota. No matter what your schedule, no matter when you work, no matter what job you have now, this is your opportunity to accomplish your goals. Degrees After Hours at the University of North Dakota can work around your busy schedule. Bachelor and master's degrees are earned through convenient, flexible, and high-quality classes. Complete degrees are available online through correspondence study and on weekends and evenings. Earn a degree on your terms with Degrees After Hours at the University of North Dakota. Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The UND College of Business and Public Administration is reaching out to rural America. The Government Rural Outreach Initiative is working to connect you with important information you need. Use the internet to access government services such as employment opportunities, license renewals, applications for government benefits, and much more. The Government Rural Outreach Initiative is funded with the support of the North Dakota Congressional Delegation. To learn how we are helping you get connected, visit go.ndgrow.com.
The School of Engineering and Mines at UND has a long history of preparing students for successful careers. Through small classes and faculty involvement, students have unique opportunities to gain hands-on experience. Here, students launch a weather balloon to test a remote imaging device destined for Earth orbit. Students can also become involved in wind energy and fuel cell projects, design, build, and race a Formula One car, or even develop a camera that will generate agricultural images from the International Space Station. Find out for yourself how you can get involved at UND School of Engineering and Mines.
Lottery tickets, playing cards, or dice games may seem harmless for kids to play with. However, experts say gamblers who start young are most likely to develop addiction problems. Gambler's Choice Program Director Lisa Vig is here to talk with us about the rising problem among gambling with teens. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, what are we looking at? How big of a problem is gambling in the United States?
Well, it varies from state to state depending on what forms of gambling might be available, but we do know that the more prevalent and the more available gambling is, the more likely we are to have problems. Nationally, about 1.5% of individuals will have an addiction with gambling. Roughly that indicates 1 in 20 people who gamble might become addicted.
And statistically, who gambles the most? Boys, girls, young, old?
There really is no separation when looking at that. It's kind of across the boards. Each population group, men and women, young and old, have different risk factors and different interests in their gambling. They all gamble for different reasons.
Okay, and I know that we talked before and you said teen gambling was on the rise. Why is this?
Well, I think the availability of online gambling, other forms of gambling such as lottery, casinos, are available for young people, and most can participate when they turn 18. I think teens becoming more independent, having jobs on their own, pursuing college, working part-time, having some availability of money, and also having credit cards available to them certainly puts young people at risk for involvement in gambling.
Right. When I think of gambling, I think of casinos and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What are other types of activities that are seen as gambling activities in both teens and adults?
Yeah, there are a lot more forms than just traditional casino type gambling. Lots of people don't see bingo as gambling or lottery tickets. Other forms can be more sophisticated, like money markets and investments, being involved in brokerage houses, the commodities, futures. All those can be forms of gambling and can get individuals into trouble if they're not careful.
Now, are kids learning these addictions from their parents?
Well, that's a good question. That's the great debate. Is this a learned problem or is it something that's inherited, a genetic issue? And the research really shows that it's a combination of the two. Many of the individuals that come to treatment have identified other family members that have a gambling addiction or certainly have had problems with alcohol or other substance abuse addiction. So we know that's a very common thread among the people that we work with.
Now, gambling addiction is such a serious problem.
Mm-hmm.
How can we tell that someone has a problem?
Well, there are many signs that you might look for that could indicate a gambling problem, and one of them might be that the gambling activities are happening more frequently. They're not necessarily going with friends or with family members, but maybe they're venturing out on gambling activities alone. Another indication might be that they're having some difficulty with finances, using credit cards for cash advances in order to make gambling available to them, borrowing from friends and family, certainly mood changes, irritability with winning or with losing, chasing money in order to get their losses back. Those can all be indications of a gambling problem.
Now, what are some options that you choose to help stop gambling when people come to you?
Well, we look at several areas when someone has a gambling addiction, and we say that most people have two issues, an emotional problem and a financial problem. And so taking care of finances is going to be a really important aspect of their treatment and helping them come up with a workable budget, helping them understand how gambling has affected their finances and repaying debts. And then the emotional part, which is helping individuals understand how the gambling has impacted their life. Most compulsive gamblers coming for treatment will say, it's like I was a different person. I acted in a different way. I felt a different way. It's like I wasn't myself. Myself was lost in the gambling addiction. And so it's about uncovering who they really are and helping them learn some new coping skills, helping them kind of have a new lease on life.
Now, politically, has the government taken any steps to help the gambling addiction or your program?
Each state might vary a little bit depending on their legislature and their own state government as to their interest in funding treatment. Nationally, not much is being done. In North Dakota, we began appropriating funds for treatment in 1997, and we certainly would like to see those dollars continue to increase as the availability of gambling has increased. We now have a lottery that's going to be available soon, and certainly anytime we add forms of gambling or make it more available, there's more likely to be a problem. And so we're going to have to be proactive about saying, how are we going to help people that are addicted? Lots and lots of people gamble for fun, socially, recreationally, and it doesn't cause a problem for them. But for those individuals who do get into trouble with it, we certainly want to make sure that help is available.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on our show and talking to us about this.
Thank you for your interest.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be right back after this.
Tradition runs deep among American Indian people. One of those traditions is helping others. At the University of North Dakota, American Indian Student Services is dedicated to helping students succeed. Our support services include tutoring and financial aid assistance. We have more American Indian programs than any other university in the U.S., making UND a leader in Indian education. Be a part of our tradition. Call 1-800-CALL-UND.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
Students in this interactive class at the University of North Dakota are learning together with other students from across the state. UND is committed to helping students take courses and even earn degrees without leaving home. I'm Charles Capcella, President of the University of North Dakota. For information on how you can get a UND education wherever you live, check our website at www.und.edu.
The Graduate School at the University of North Dakota is the premier graduate school of the Northern Great Plains, offering advanced degrees in more than 50 fields of study. Our innovative and flexible programs give full-time students, as well as working professionals, the opportunity to study under the guidance of nationally and internationally recognized faculty. Advance your career with a master's or doctoral degree from the Graduate School at the University of North Dakota.
The UND College of Business and Public Administration is reaching out to rural America. The Government Rural Outreach Initiative is working to connect you with important information you need. Use the internet to access government services such as employment opportunities, license renewals, applications for government benefits, and much more. The Government Rural Outreach Initiative is funded with the support of the North Dakota Congressional Delegation. To learn how we are helping you get connected, visit go.ndgrow.com.
Tune in next week on Studio One. Flying through the air may be dangerous, but for some, it's a routine occurrence. We'll watch a Chinese acrobat team. Plus, we'll have other news and entertainment stories for you.
We're going to leave you now with a preview of pictures of those acrobats, courtesy of photographer Jessica Denny. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.